Whether you live in Southwest Florida or are just visiting, storms are part of our coastal paradise. And as the Weather Authority, we track the tropics for you. Not only preparing you and your family when a storm is on the way.
When a watch is issued, prepare. And when a warning is issued, take action.
But before the Wink Weather Authority tracks the next one on Wink Doppler 3X, we are dedicated to keeping you prepared and informed.
From getting your home ready to knowing your evacuation zone.
We have your back for each and every storm.
You're watching Wink Tracks the Tropics.
Hello and happy Wednesday. This is a fun mix, fun group here.
It's a dangerous mix.
Yeah. Welcome to Wink Tracks the Tropics. I'm Weather Authority meteorologist Lauren Kreidler, joined by David Nazario and Andrew Shepetofsky. So we are going to be tracking the tropics as we do, and we're going to have a good time.
Is that what we do?
Yeah, that is what we do, in case you didn't know. Yeah. I mean, we have 96 days, 96 days left of hurricane season.
Oh, the irony there.
Yeah, so.
There is some irony there.
96, and we've got some to talk
Oh,
about.
Invest 96. Yeah.
Lauren.
I was like, what is today's date? Am I missing something? Yeah, that was smart that Jonathan just pulled up our graphics, so we can just get right in. Yeah. So we're watching this area right here, and what do we say? It has a medium chance of developing, of course, right?
And it has come down. It was a high chance.
Yep.
What, 24 hours ago? Not even.
Yeah, less than 24 hours ago, which, in my very humble opinion, is just a little bizarre. And we can elaborate on that.
I was gonna
further
say,
as
yeah.
Lauren takes us a little deeper into the stream here.
Well, do you? I want you to elaborate now. I feel like. Do you feel like?
Go ahead.
Do you feel like it should be less than that based on its organization, or are you surprised that they lowered it? What is
in fact, I would have either kept it at 70 or perhaps even nudged it up a little bit. The short-term formation chances, I think those will continue to back down.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to lose that window of opportunity to take advantage of this small corridor of favorable environment that's right off the coast of Africa. But if you were to take us in for a bird's eye view and zoom in on this thing, you could almost make a case, especially when you use our X-ray vision, as I call it, satellite, from the top through it, you may even almost have a tropical depression on your hands.
It's close. It looks close.
it looks organized. Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
And that's, this seems to be the trend lately. It's like they almost want to, do it too late, and then it's, it's not nothing at that point. But, you and I were talking too, and we can talk about this in a little bit more detail here in a second when Lauren goes through it. But, maybe something to worry about down the road.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so far away. I mean, we're talking how many thousands of miles away. So, but it is. I mean, looking at it on satellite this afternoon, yesterday it didn't really look that great. It looked a little. Last night was the last time I looked at it, and it looked like it was a mess. Right now, it's still messy, obviously, but looking a little better. It was so funny, though, in our morning meeting we had earlier today, the big question was, what is that thing coming off of Africa, though?
Yeah, not a tropical wave.
And we had to explain, or meteorologist Katie Walls did rather, of, this is what happens this time of year, that flow where we track those tropical waves, 60 to 70 of them, as we get throughout hurricane season, and some try to develop, others not so much, but that one does look
it looks good.
Pretty good. I don't know. Will that be our next tagged area? I don't know.
We'll see. I think none of the models really want to grab onto it, but sometimes these monsoonal troughs look so good coming off of Africa, and then they get off in the open water and they go kaput.
They do. They fizzle out. I think the lead wave here, Invest 96L, is also taking advantage of that local environment and kind of hogging up all the energy. Because that's another thing, too. Sometimes behind the scenes or even on streams of this nature, you'll hear us say the sacrificial lamb or the sacrificial wave, or something will come off the coast of Africa. There's a ton of dry air, a ton of wind shear, a ton of Saharan dust. And that first wave will help to inject a little bit of moisture to that local area. So the one behind it might get a little bit of a boost in, okay, now we're doing a little better out here. In this case,
moistens up the atmosphere. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what we're referring to. I like drawing arrows. So.
Yep. And we are getting close to the peak. September 10th is the peak.
Crazy.
Believe it, next Tuesday, September. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
no, that
this month,
terrifying.
Last month just flew by.
Yeah, I know.
Which is good in the sense of tropical development-wise, because typically when we talk about August, we're like, oh, activity's ramping up. We're going to start seeing a lot more happen. And I mean, we know that this is expected to be a below-average hurricane season,
and
but
it's playing out that way.
Right. It's nice to see. I mean, if we just chop off that first half of hurricane season, we'll be halfway through almost
much,
at this point, and then we'll get to the bottom of that mountain.
Yeah.
But September 10th, as you mentioned, that peak statistically.
I know there's a good graphic in here showing, going back to Invest 96, that has the wind shear on it.
Is it this one?
It's the spaghetti plot one.
He's asking for very specific things right now.
The content library, it was just built, so it should be.
Oh, it should be on top. Okay, I can handle this. We can handle this, everyone. Also, this is an interactive platform. I feel like I neglected to mention that.
I got rid of the comments.
But please comment, say hi where you're watching from, what you're doing. If you have any questions related to the tropics, we are happy to answer them. I know we have Tim in the chat. We have Ash in the chat as well. We also, we have a good question from Ash. That's great. I'm going to answer that in a question. Peter from Chris said, from the graphics yesterday, it looked like it was going to run into a lot of wind shear. Maybe that's the reason for the weakness. So yeah,
it is.
So the reason why, you know, and the odds of this thing being decreased, the reason why is because it is expected to encounter that wind shear this weekend. So it's not expected to be 96L. Let's see.
So while we're pulling up the graphic, I'll go ahead and elaborate a little further on what Andrew kind of alluded to moments ago. Off the coast of Africa and into the central tropical Atlantic, kind of where 96L is currently positioned, usually El Nino doesn't have too much influence down there. Your westerly wind shear that helps to chop these things down is typically confined to your Caribbean Sea and just immediately east of that island chain, the Lesser Antilles, that kind of ends the Caribbean and we enter the tropical Atlantic. So if you look at the graphic, we finally found it.
Yay!
If you look at those spaghetti plots, we're still far a ways away from that main shear corridor. So that's why it's very interesting to see that formation chances have dropped, and I will openly admit our AI overlords, as we like to address them as, did start to lose a little bit of their jazz with this. They're no longer thinking we're going to see a tropical storm or anything stronger in the next 3, 4, 5 days. But that's where, as Andrew mentioned earlier, it gets interesting. How much of a disturbance, of a wave, of just general spin do we have moving to the immediate north of the Leeward Islands there, where you can see all the spaghetti kind of coming together, and how much of it emerges on the opposite side, because we're kind of split in half. The deep tropics are doing okay. Then we've got this wall of shear that naturally ebbs and flows, and then on the west of that, if you look towards the Bahamas there, and dare I say the southeast United States, we once again open that window for opportunity. So that's why we want to babysit this one for just a little bit longer.
And to note of that, you see even in this graphic, and obviously we're talking next, this is, well, I guess this Sunday, is this a week out?
That's
so next, noon, you see the little bit of a weakness there just north of the islands. So is it wind shear there? Yes. Is it enough wind shear to break up this thing completely? Because it makes it through, there's a lot of warm water there, and crazy things can happen.
And I think that's why, you know, we watch. We're not alarmed by any means.
This is why we're just having. This is an open conversation. This is this is not us saying, you know, batten down the hatches or anything like that.
I think the thing is too, we often talk about this with our local forecasts, is just how far out that is. I mean, again, we notice, and I know I have a good graphic. I like the tropical lead times, which I'll show in a second too. As this has just come off the coast of Africa, I mean, there's Africa right there, and then as this makes its way through, I mean, this is only 3 days out, and you know, it still doesn't even put it in the Caribbean exactly yet. So we have so much time to be watching this, and again, the majority of those models not doing much with it because of that wind shear surrounding it. But it takes time for these storms to work their way through. I really like this graphic because I think it does did you make this?
I did.
I like that.
A couple days ago,
I think it does a good depiction of you know, how far out. And we got this question the other day asking, okay, well, if something were to come off the coast of Africa, how long does it take to get to us? And we often say 10 to 14 days. That's like the general range. Of course, it's very dependent on the trajectory of how fast it's moving. You know, that forward speed, of course, but it takes time.
And the other thing with that is, you know, granted, we have a 10-day forecast. But, you know, once you get into, you know, post 5 days, the accuracy of all of our forecasts
decreases.
Really just
absolutely.
So that's why we're just kind of watching, waiting, and seeing how things play out. Not worrying. But we're just educating, sharing, because again, a lot of this stuff we're sharing is public knowledge. This is
a dated one. Look at that.
You know, Ash asked a good question. I haven't looked at this in a couple of days. You know what the MJO is? Right
MJO is going to be circling back around. We still have some time, but it does look like the mid portion to the latter half of September, the climate forecast system, the Euro, just to name a couple of our longer range models, are hinting at a full-fledged pass of at least a decent MJO. And when I say decent, we're not looking at a very strong pass that's suddenly going to disrupt El Nino. We're going to get a big burst of potential tropical waves that go on to develop into something more, but it's probably a time, I would say probably after the first 10 to 15 days, give or take, of September, where here at the Weather Authority, we'll probably want to pull up some computer models and start to see if we get those whisperings of long-range signals again. Right now, we have a sliver of that working its way through. That's why we're still able to try to get these healthy waves to do a little more than just give some rain to West Africa and then hopefully push towards the Caribbean, bring them some rain. The main MJO is still yet to arrive. It's hung up in the East Pacific, which is why if you were to pull up an activity map for the West, the Central, and the East Pac, they're going gangbusters right now. It's been a busy season for them, part of the course for El Nino.
Yeah, Casper said MJO phase 7 right now. But you're right, and you know, and really, it's something we watch. And you and I were just looking at the Climate Prediction Center's stuff. They're having us quiet down after this wave, for at least for the next 2 weeks. So we'll kind of see how things play out here. But what's not quiet is the other
Yes, exactly. And that's always, we mentioned it, it's very typical. Oh, goodness. Look, it looks like Skittles. It looks like Skittles. I'm actually going to have to.
Do they taste better?
Yes, they do. But if I maneuver this, because that's just going to drive me. Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, I'm going to have to.
Yeah, because we have Lala off to the, well, it's not even on that map, but Lala's off to the left-hand corner. What is it? Isel. Okay.
And Julio got sucked into Isel.
And Isel is just a tropical storm and weakening down to a depression, but we also have that area just south of Hawaii. That's a 20% chance of development.
The little yellow area you're seeing on your map.
That red area there, that is
middle area.
70% chance of development.
Yep.
And then those two on top of each other, we have a 90% chance and a 60% chance. So
it's so funny if you just take like those blobs away and you just look at satellite here.
It just looks like a mess.
Oh, there's just a lot going on out there.
But again, this is that typical El Nino pattern.
Yeah, it's not surprising to see. I mean, that area in orange even has a 60% chance, so that could get bumped up to a high chance as well, and also be red in the next day or so. But it's offshore. It's far offshore southwestern Mexico, so that's some good news here. Of course, we always are keeping an eye on for our Hawaii friends. I mean, they just got impacted by Lala. We don't want another storm to develop, but Isel's staying far away. These other areas look like they're staying further down south. Hopefully, they can stay on that trajectory away from the islands. Of course, it's still, they get indirect impacts regardless if it comes close enough. But
surfing heaven.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'd be terrified in those waters. But no, Casper, definitely that area has been on fire for tropical development, and it's been interesting to watch. And I know we like watching it from afar, but we do need the rain. Caribbean islands, Ash mentioned, needing the rain badly. We're not seeing really like a very rainy pattern. Hopefully, as we've been kind of teasing ahead, and I had a hurricane talk yesterday, kind of mentioning this. Hopefully winter, we get a wetter winter, hopefully, because of the El Nino. So, we might get lucky this hurricane season, knock on wood, and then have just a rainier kind of gross. I don't want to use the word gross because I love when it rains, but what I'm saying, like a more not as sunny as a winter, and I don't know if that'd be a bad thing for our farmers, especially.
It comes through. The rain in of itself would be fantastic. I overheard you mention during the noon show we are still in a deficit of about 30 inches.
Ooh, that's insane.
So the more rain, the better, so we can optimize ourselves for spring and summertime next year.
I want to see the actual number now that I'm thinking about it, because
that is wild.
It is. Before we move on to a quick package discussion, could we pull up that wind shear map one more time?
Absolutely.
And the main reason I want us to come back to the Atlantic is not necessarily for any concern. Let us continue to investigate our invest area out there. I more so want to dispel some noise.
How did I lose it again?
Classic fashion, while Lauren's pulling that
right
up,
there. I found it.
I'm starting to see folks sharing on the old Twitter, X, Facebook, YouTube, all over that people are, I guess, taking advantage of the Hurricane Andrew anniversary and mentioning that this has the makings of another Andrew.
The worst.
Now, let's set the score straight. If you, Lauren, could you open up the graphic and take down the what to watch there so we can see the full map? This is kind of what we've been discussing and why it is that we.
You guys are making me work really hard today.
I know. I'm sorry.
You're doing great.
Thank you so
You're
much.
Doing fantastic.
Thank you. I need that.
Driving like a pro.
Okay.
The reason
Our own Vanna White.
What? Yeah. I'd like to buy a vowel.
Woo!
There we go.
Okay.
Excellent. So, and if you could take this full screen, folks, thank you so much.
There we go. Look at that.
That tiny little corridor, we're basically threading the needle. There's a lot of things that have to go right for this storm for it to exist this time next week. We're getting very close to the islands down there, and a lot of our latest computer models do think even if we have a coherent system, it could move far enough to the south to where it brings the islands the good rain and then fizzles out and it's gone by this time next week.
Yeah.
But I really want to emphasize here that we do want to keep at least one eye on it. You at home, not necessarily. That's for us, the meteorologists, to do. Because there is that opportunity for something to emerge on the opposite side of that sheer corridor. And since we are getting into peak hurricane season, usually Mother Nature tends to favor development, regardless of El Nino and all the other background mechanisms that will try to squash these things in their tracks. So while we still have about 3 to 5 days before it enters this area, this zero barrier for my Armageddon Bruce Willis fans out there, we still have plenty of time. It won't be until Labor Day weekend before this thing makes a run at the Bahamas, gets anywhere near the United States. So let us continue to track it, but I want to dispel the noise. We're not thinking Andrew or anything cataclysmic.
This is a watch, not worry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're far enough in advance to where we want to give you the scenarios, we want to give you the possibilities so we don't take our foot off the throttle. It's a little early for us to confidently say it's going, it's leaving, it's coming, it's fading. So let's just babysit this for a few more days while we iron out the fine kinks, and it gives you a good excuse to keep tuning in with us on Wink Tracks the Tropics.
Right. I'm trying to see what package we have. We have the, is it Hurricane Charlie?
It is.
All right. So is today?
No, it's not. It was a week ago.
Oh yeah, because that was an 04.
It was the 13th.
Whew, yeah, Hurricane Charlie. I mean, we've talked about the latest. Lately, that's kind of what our jam has been doing, is talking about the anniversaries of these storms. I know I was talking to Katie Wells earlier about Idalia's coming up as well. That was my first hurricane that I covered professionally here in Southwest Florida. But that's coming up right around the corner now. And then, of course, you know, as we get into September, we're talking about Ian, unfortunately. But hey, let's roll that package. Let's talk really briefly about Hurricane Charlie.
They're all boarding up, putting their wood up against the windows, and I'm laughing, thinking that they're overreacting, and things were different the next day.
Max Doyle is a co-owner of Celtic Ray in Punta Gorda. He says 21 years ago, he and a few employees watched his small town get torn apart through a pub window.
We just watched it from this was a different window, obviously. It got sucked out. It didn't even make a sound. I can still remember to this day seeing aluminum roofs just floating around like, you know, empty Dorito bags. It was crazy.
They watched 145-mile-an-hour winds shift in eerie silence and then slam back the other way.
It was just all white, like we were up in the clouds or something. We saw the wind going this way, 145 miles an hour. It stopped like 15 minutes, I guess. And then we got to stand there and watch it go that way.
Then the roof started to peel.
While we're watching it, I saw the roof, you know, kind of go. So that's our, you know, long lost dream just getting sucked up under us.
Danny DeLodge was only 15 years old when Charlie hit.
21 years. It's officially old enough to drink.
He says the city has come a long way since then.
You know, after Hurricane Charlie, Charlotte County and surrounding counties really started pushing and enforcing a lot of the building code changes. And it saved the area.
Just awful.
Yeah. There was. I just think back to that. I was a little kid. Here for that. I was on vacation. When that
vacation.
came, yeah. So I was in my grandparents lived in Bradenton, and we had a timeshare in Pompano Beach.
Okay.
So we're down here, and we're gonna spend a couple of days with grandparents and go across the state here. And right as Charlie made landfall, because remember we were all thinking Tampa, like almost like
just like
and it took that little wobble into Port Charlotte, but the we were heading south and trying to we gotta get out of Dodge before continue on the vacation. We got out of Dodge. We ended up getting down just to one of the rest areas just north of the alley, and a trooper says, "Where are you going?" And alley was like 60 miles an hour across the alley with winds. So we turned around, we went under Lake O towards Belglade, and I can't even tell you, the sky was incredible. And then coming back a week later, going through Port Charlotte and seeing those highway signs, those big metal signs, just like snapped like toothpicks, and it really helped me become a meteorologist.
Same here. I can wholeheartedly testify to that. We were living in the Kissimmee area in Osceola County on Friday the 13th that year, which ironically is also my wife's birthday, August 13th.
Oh, wow.
Which is, nuts. So a lot of big things happening on August 13th. And I remember, and this is kind of what sealed the deal alongside Andrew next to me in my desire to become a TV meteorologist and communicate this crucial information to you all while dispelling all the bad noise out there. I distinctly remember watching WFTV. Chief Meteorologist Tom Terry. They broke in on Channel 9, and I myself was already in a debate with my dad. And mind you, this is 12-year-old David. I was already in a debate with my dad. Saying, Dad, it's turning right. It's turning right. It's not going north. It's turning right. And he's like, no, the Hurricane Center says Tampa. It's going Tampa, blah, blah, blah. And then they broke news. And Tom Terry himself had the sleeves rolled up and said, it's probably not going to Tampa. We're going to get you the latest information. And if you draw a straight line, it's going directly towards downtown Orlando.
That's crazy.
And I want to, big time. And that's why I want to caveat that or follow that up with, that's why we say it only takes one and treat every storm differently. For a lot of you down here in Southwest Florida, Ian was the absolute worst.
Right.
For me, to this day, Charlie was the worst hurricane I'd ever been.
And Charlie was the worst hurricane down here and then it was Irma, and then we've been hit pretty bad down here.
And it's weird and interesting at the same time about how a storm imprints you. Like you both have stories from Charlie. We have Casper in the comments saying, knowing the exact date, August 13, 2004, lost everything to that one.
That's so sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, these storms leave an imprint, and that's why we take all of them, as you mentioned, so seriously. The good news is, on a positive note, before we get to Weather Watchers, is right now we are still A-OK. Yes, we're watching things, but nothing to be worried about right now. So that is some good news. But let's get to Weather Watchers. We only have a few minutes remaining here, so I want to show off some of these awesome pictures with y'all. Mary's picture from this morning. Pictures. I mean, these clouds.
Towering cumulus,
so pretty. Love those blue skies.
Little nimbus.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary, for sharing that. Tim always getting the good screen grabs there. Mary, ooh, what is that? What is that? I don't like that. I don't like that, Mary.
That's pretty.
Mary B, I don't like that.
Interesting bug.
Oh, there's a side view of it. Ooh, look at its eyes. I don't know about that.
Moth or butterfly,
Okay, that's pretty cool. James Morgan, rain off the coast from my house in Rotunda West in Englewood. Rainbow! I saw a rainbow yesterday. I was very excited.
I'm glad you have. I haven't seen one since that one day where everybody sent pictures.
In the chat, all seeing the same rainbow.
Boca Green. Ooh, a beach and a rainbow. Monica, you are so lucky.
Look at that rip, though. There's a little rip current right there.
Yeah, you're right. Right there.
Center.
Yep. But look at the rainbow. It's so pretty.
I guess that's where my eyes went versus the rainbow.
Oh, the rip.
Lynette. Ooh, bird flying mid-shot. Lynette, that is gorgeous. Our Weather Watchers are the best. Ooh, I love the little bird. Look how cute he is. Oh, hi, buddy.
My?
Living vicariously through me.
Does anybody feel bad for me here? Anybody? Todd, looking beautiful. Look at that. Ooh, I like the way the sun.
Yeah.
I did. I hope everyone else did too.
If you're in the chat, no, you did not. Don't even go there. You're welcome, Ash. Thank you. We also hope you have a great day. Brandon sending the most beautiful pictures of the sunrise. Yeah, he actually mentioned that the temperatures, when I was reading his post earlier, I think this is a post. Yeah, the temperatures are actually a little bit cooler now. It felt a little cooler. And anytime we get like even a slight decrease in humidity, you notice.
Around here,
Yeah. I mean, he said the humidity was at 83%. So it's not like it was like, we had a lot of dry air move through.
Fall.
Fall.
Not yet.
Did I have my second second pumpkin spice latte of the season so far.
I wanted to get one yesterday, but I just feel like since we're still in the thick of summer,
I know. My wife was like, "We're going."
What are you waiting for?
We're going to get PSLs.
Lori, look at that rainbow. I missed that one from earlier. A little peek of a rainbow. No, you got to get the pumpkin now because we're never going to cool down. Like time pumpkin's gone, we'll probably finally start getting those cold fronts. So, you know, you got to enjoy it even though it's 90.
That spooky season will treat us well this year.
You heard it here first, y'all. So, spooky
seasonal outlook.
Seasonal outlooks look good, yeah.
Seasonal outlook does look pretty nice. So, Hurricane Donna, yes, that was the, quote, legendary storm until Charlie, and then
true.
Ian was, of course, the worst case scenario. Yeah,
It really
Casper.
was, yeah.
Well, it was Charlie, just 4 times the size. But
Oh, before we go, let's answer Chris's question to wrap this up. Just curious about if we'll have any high pressure over Florida around Labor Day weekend to steer this away.
So that's critical, to tell you the truth. That's part of the mechanisms we've been investigating. And to tell you the truth, the current trend suggests that subtropical high pressure that brought us all the heat, that was one stationary over Florida in the Gulf, is actually going to be a hair north of us.
Yeah.
So ironing out those details, which is why we'd mentioned we want to babysit this one and iron out not only the storm itself, but just what the atmosphere could look like in front of it before we either vote it off the island and say we're good to go, no development, or we at least recommend we continue to watch it through this weekend leading into beginning September. Because,
vote it off. Vote it off.
And you can count on us. Count on us. We will, of course, keep you updated. We are constantly watching, but to our entire weather team, you should see our group chat. It's pretty embarrassing.
It's obnoxious.
It's like, oh, Invest 96. No. It's all of us. It's all of us.
True, yeah. Andrew, we bounce off of one another all the time.
The dynamic duo there. But thank you for joining us here on Wing Tracks the Tropics. Any closing remarks?
I think we're good.
I will be away for drill starting tomorrow as I go back with the United States Navy. I'll be back next week.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for the support. And then into September, an early plug, I do have my annual training in Virginia, so I'll be gone for a little while.
Wait, what? I didn't even know this.
Yeah, I had to iron out those kinks. So if you don't see me here, I promise nothing bad's happened. Lord willing.
Okay.
But, just gonna go do my due diligence and put the uniform back on. But I'm gonna miss you guys.
Yeah.
Tracking the tropics.
I was gonna say, I'm sure you'll still be tracking, so I'm not worried about that part at all. But yes, so we'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. And yeah, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. All right, bye.